Every one of us at some point in our lives encounters pain. It comes in many forms: physical pain, emotional wounds, setbacks, loss. But the question is not whether we will face pain. The question is, how do we transform it? In the Shaolin tradition, pain is not seen as an enemy, it is a teacher. And if we are willing to listen, it holds the potential to awaken great strength within us. Today I will share with you 6 habits, Shaolin-inspired practices, that can help you turn your pain into power. Today I want to share with you a practice that has been at the heart of the Shaolin tradition for centuries. When we encounter pain, our instinct is to avoid it, to push it away, to resist it. But the more we resist, the more it seems to grow, take hold of us. But in Shaolin philosophy, pain is not the enemy, it is a part of the journey, it is a stepping stone to something greater. The obstacle you are facing right now is not a barrier, it is the path itself. The first step to turning your pain into power is to embrace it fully, without resistance, without judgment. It might sound simple, but it is the hardest thing for most of us, because we have been taught to see pain as something to escape from. We have been taught that comfort and pleasure are the only things worth pursuing. But a warrior knows that the path of least resistance leads nowhere meaningful. Pain is not something to conquer or defeat. It is something to understand and integrate into our journey. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, the peak shrouded in mist. You cannot see the path clearly and the climb ahead seems daunting. But instead of turning back or finding another route, you take a step forward. You feel the weight of the climb in your legs, the burn in your muscles, the sharpness of the wind against your face, but you do not run from it. You do not curse it. Instead, you say to yourself, "This is my training ground." Doubting yourself, you redirect that energy into action and presence. When you meet pain with acceptance, you begin to see its lessons. You start to understand where your limits truly are and how far you can stretch them. Most of the suffering we experience does not come from the pain itself, it comes from our resistance to it. The more we say, "I cannot handle this," or "this should not be happening," the more we increase our own suffering. But when we shift our mindset, when we begin to see pain as part of the path, we unlock a hidden strength within us. We realize that we are capable of enduring more than we ever thought possible. This practice is not about glorifying suffering. It is not about seeking pain for its own sake. It is about recognizing that when pain comes, it comes for a reason. It comes to awaken something within us. The next time you feel overwhelmed by a challenge, instead of shrinking back, pause for a moment, take a breath and say, "This too is part of my journey." When you embrace the obstacle, you begin to find flow in the struggle. You become like water that adapts to the shape of the rock, but continues to move forward unwavering. When you stop fighting against pain, you begin to understand its teachings. You realize that it is showing you where you are holding tension, where you are clinging to old patterns, where you need to let go. And grown in Shaolin, we often speak of the concept of the middle way. Not too rigid, not too loose, not forcing, not escaping. This middle way teaches us to meet pain with balance, to neither collapse under it nor harden against it. When you embrace the obstacle, you are practicing the middle way. You are standing with both feet on the ground, rooted in the present moment, facing what is directly in front of you. You are no longer distracted by the stories of the past or the fears of the future. You are here now. And in this presence you discover a strength that is beyond physical power. It is a quiet strength, a knowing that you can endure, that you can adapt, that you can grow. There is a saying in the temple that the obstacle is the path. This means that whatever challenge you are facing right now is not an interruption. It is your opportunity to deepen your practice, to strengthen your mind, to open your heart. So when you feel that heaviness in your chest, that weight on your shoulders, that pull of exhaustion, remember that it is not trying to break you, it is trying to forge you into something stronger. Do not waste this opportunity to learn from it. to embrace it fully with every breath and every step. Each time you encounter pain, you are being invited to meet yourself more deeply, to ask, what am I resisting? What am I afraid of letting go of? What part of me is ready to grow? Pain is the teacher that will not be ignored. It comes to knock at your door and ask, are you ready to wake up? Are you ready to step into your true power? So take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground, and embrace the obstacle, not because you enjoy it, but because it is your path, your teacher, your opportunity to transform what was once your greatest challenge into your greatest strength. And as you walk this path, you will find that what once felt heavy begins to feel lighter. What once seemed impossible begins to feel achievable, and what once made you feel powerless begins to fill you with a quiet, unshakable power, because you embraced it fully and walked through it with courage and grace. When you feel pain, your breath changes, your body tenses, your heart races, your mind fills with worry. This is the natural response of the body to stress, to discomfort, to the unknown. But what if I told you that by changing your breath, you could change your experience of pain? Your breath is the link between your body and your mind. It is the bridge that connects your outer world with your inner world. It is the doorway through which you can step from reactivity into clarity, from panic into presence. In the Shaolin tradition, we are taught to observe the breath, not to control it, not to force it, but to become aware of its natural flow, because within this flow lies the secret to transforming not just pain, but our entire experience of life. When you become aware of your breath, you begin to notice how shallow it is when you are stressed, how fast it becomes when you are afraid, how you might even hold it without realizing it. This holding, this tightening, this shallowness is not just in the breath, it is in the mind, it is in the body. So the first step is simply to observe. Close your eyes, feel the air enter your nostrils, feel it fill your lungs, feel it leave your body. Do this without trying to change it at first. Just notice the rhythm, the quality, the movement, like watching waves on the shore. As you begin to observe, you may notice that your breath naturally begins to deepen. It naturally begins to slow. This is because the mind follows the breath, and the breath follows the mind. When you calm the breath, you calm the mind. When you deepen the breath, you ground the body. Now take a slow inhale through your nose. Feel the air traveling down into your belly, not just your chest, but deep into your abdomen. Feel your belly expand gently with the breath. Hold it for a moment, and then slowly exhale through your nose. Feel the air leaving your body. Feel your belly gently deflate like a balloon. Do this again and again, each time bringing more awareness, more presence to the sensation of breathing. With each inhale, imagine drawing in calmness, strength, clarity. With each exhale, imagine releasing tension, fear, doubt. This simple practice of breath awareness can be done anywhere at any time. You do not need a special room or a meditation cushion. You just need yourself and your breath. When pain arises, whether physical, emotional, or mental, return to your breath. Use it as an anchor, as a refuge, as a tool to bring you back to the present moment, back to yourself. Because in that moment of awareness, you are no longer controlled by pain. You are no longer swept away by fear. You are choosing to be present, to face whatever arises with calmness and courage. In the Shaolin teachings, we often speak of breathing as the practice of returning home. Because when you are lost in pain, you are lost in thought, lost in projections of what might happen, what has already happened. But your breath is always here, always now, always present. It is the doorway to stillness, to clarity, to strength in the face of difficulty. There is an exercise we do in the temple where we practice walking meditation. Each step is synchronized with the breath. One inhale, one step, one exhale, another step. As you walk, you breathe. As you breathe, you walk. This practice teaches you that no matter how chaotic the world may seem, no matter how intense the pain may feel, you can always return to the simplicity of one breath, one step. And in that simplicity, you find your strength, your balance. Imagine yourself standing on a mountain, surrounded by swirling winds and storm clouds. You feel the pressure, the weight, the uncertainty. But as you stand there, you begin to breathe slowly, deeply, steadily. With each breath, you feel more grounded, more rooted, more unshakable. The storm may rage around you, but within you there is calmness, a still point, a place of inner peace. This is the power of the breath. It is not about escaping the storm, but finding your center within it. As you continue this practice of breath awareness, you will notice that your relationship with pain begins to change. It no longer feels like an enemy to be fought, but a sensation to be observed, to be met with presence and patience. The breath becomes your guide, showing you how to soften where you once tensed, how to release where you once held on too tightly. It teaches you that pain, like breath, rises and falls, comes and goes. It is not permanent. It is not who you are. When you train the breath, you train the mind. When you train the mind, you open the heart. And when you open the heart, you transform pain into power, into wisdom, into compassion, because you realize that the breath connects you not just to yourself, but to the world around you, to every living being, to the pulse of life itself. In this way, your pain becomes not a wall that separates you from others, but a bridge that connects you through shared experience, through shared humanity. So the next time you feel pain, do not rush to escape it, do not push it away or drown in it. Instead, pause, take a breath, feel the air enter your body, feel it leave your body. Let each breath remind you that you are alive, that you are present, that you have the strength to meet whatever comes your way with clarity and calmness. And as you breathe, you will find that the pain no longer controls you. You control your response. And in that choice, you discover your power. There is a common mistake many people make when they encounter pain. They freeze, they become rigid, they stop moving, as if by holding still they can avoid the discomfort, as if by resisting they can make the pain disappear. But this is an illusion. Pain is not a wall. You can hide from it. It's not something you can run from. It follows you. It lingers. It waits for you to turn toward it and face it. And the only way to truly transform it is to move through it. In Shaolin practice, we are taught to keep the body moving, to keep the energy flowing, because when we stop, we allow stagnation to set in. And where there is stagnation, there is more pain, more tension, more suffering. Think of a river that stops flowing. It becomes stagnant. It collects debris. It loses its clarity. The same happens to our body and mind. When we stop moving, we allow the debris of fear, worry, and doubt to collect within us. But when we move, when we stretch, when we practice mindful walking or simple movements, we allow energy to flow. We allow tension to release. We create space for clarity and calmness to emerge. This is not about forcing the body into extreme exertion. It is about finding gentle ways to move with awareness, with presence, with intention. So when you feel overwhelmed by pain, whether it is physical discomfort or emotional heaviness, try moving through it. You might begin with simple stretching. Raise your arms above your head, slowly let them drop. Gently roll your shoulders. Take a few steps forward with mindful awareness. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your body in motion. Notice the sensations, the shifting of weight, the opening of tight spaces. This is how you remind your body that it is not trapped, that it is not frozen, that it can move and flow and adapt. In the Shaolin Temple, we practice forms that combine breath with movement. Slow, deliberate sequences that open the joints, strengthen the muscles, stretch the tendons. These movements are not just physical exercises. They are meditations in motion. They teach us to stay connected to the present, to observe the sensations of the body, to let go of the mind's chatter and simply be with what is. When you move through pain with this awareness, you begin to see that it changes. It becomes less sharp, less consuming, more like a wave passing through you than a wall crashing against you. Pain often carries messages for us. It tells us where we are holding too tightly, where we are resisting change, where we are disconnected from our body or our truth. But these messages are not clear when we are frozen. When we move, we allow these messages to surface, to be seen, to be understood. So instead of asking, how can I get rid of this pain? Ask, how can I move with it? How can I dance with it? How can I flow through it like water flowing around a rock, not with force, but with persistence, with grace, with acceptance. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast field, stretching your arms wide, feeling the wind on your face. Take a slow step forward. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the earth supporting you with each step. You release the weight you have been carrying with each breath. You open more space within you. You begin to feel the flow of energy moving through your body, clearing the channels, unblocking the stuck places as you walk. You realize that the pain you felt was not an enemy but a signal, a call to awaken, to move, to live. This practice does not require hours of training or complicated techniques. It is as simple as standing up, stretching your arms, walking around your room, stepping outside for a walk in nature, moving your body with awareness, with gratitude, with openness. It is about breaking the cycle of stagnation that pain tries to impose. It is about reclaiming your power to choose how you respond. In the temple, we learn that true strength is not rigid. It is flexible, it bends, it flows, it adapts. A tree that stands stiff in the storm will break, but a tree that bends will survive. The same is true for us. When we encounter pain, when we meet obstacles, when we feel stuck, we can choose to freeze or we can choose to move, to flow, to adapt. When you move through pain, you are not running from it, you are not escaping it, you are engaging with it, meeting it, learning from it, transforming it. So the next time you feel the weight of pain heavy on your shoulders, do not freeze, do not retreat. Instead, take a breath and move, stretch, walk, practice mindful movements. Let the energy flow through you, let the tension release, let the heaviness lift. With each step, with each breath, with each movement, you are telling yourself, I am not trapped, I am not powerless, I can move, I can adapt, I can grow. This is the practice of moving through pain, not with force, not with resistance, but with grace, with presence, with acceptance. And in this movement you will find not only relief, but also clarity, strength, resilience, and an unshakable power that comes from within. There is a quiet power that comes from patience. A strength that is not loud or forceful, but steady and enduring when we face pain, whether physical, emotional, or mental. Our instinct is often to fight it, to resist it, to look for quick fixes or distractions. But the more we fight, the more we feed the pain, the more we resist, the longer it stays. Patience teaches us that pain is not here to destroy us. It is here to teach us, to reveal parts of ourselves we have ignored or suppressed. When we cultivate patience, we learn to sit with discomfort, to breathe with it, to allow it to move through us without trying to rush it away. In the Shaolin tradition, we learn that true power comes from the ability to wait, not with frustration, but with calm presence. Because when you wait with awareness, you are not passive, you are observant, you are learning, you are gathering insight. When you feel pain arise, notice your thoughts, how they rush to escape, how they try to predict how long it will last or how bad it will get. This rushing mind is the source of much suffering because it disconnects us from the present moment, from the reality of what is happening now. Patience invites us to return to this moment, to let go of the stories, the projections, the fears, and simply be with what is. When you feel overwhelmed by pain, Bring your attention to your breath, to your body. Feel the sensations without labeling them as good or bad. Simply notice them, like clouds passing through the sky. In this space of observation, you begin to see that the pain is not as solid or permanent as it seemed. It changes, it moves, it comes and goes like waves on the ocean. In the temple, we practice long hours of stillness and silence, not because we enjoy discomfort, but because we know that in stillness we meet ourselves without distraction. In silence we hear the true voice beneath the noise of the mind. When you practice patience, you are training yourself to stay present, to stay grounded, to meet life as it is, not as you wish it to be. This does not mean you should ignore pain or endure it without care. It means that you meet it with awareness and compassion without rushing to escape or fix it. Imagine a tree standing in a storm. Its branches may bend, its leaves may tremble, but its roots are deep, strong, unshaken. This is patience. It is not about standing still while the wind blows, but about staying rooted, staying connected to your inner strength. No matter how chaotic the world around you may be, when you cultivate patience, you give yourself the space to learn from the pain, to discover what it is teaching you about yourself, about your body, about your mind, about your spirit. Each moment of patience is an act of courage, a decision to stay with the discomfort, to meet it with kindness, to say, I am here, I am listening, I am willing to learn, and in this willingness you will find that the pain begins to soften, to shift, to transform. Patience is not something you achieve once and for all. It is a practice, a way of being that you return to again and again. Each time you feel overwhelmed, each time you feel the urge to rush or escape or numb yourself. So how do we cultivate patience? We start by noticing when we are impatient, by observing our mind when it races, our body when it tenses, our breath when it shortens. We take a deep breath, we return to the present moment. We remind ourselves that this too will pass, that nothing is permanent, not even the pain we are feeling. We practice letting go of the need to control the timing, the outcome, the feeling. We simply allow ourselves to be here now, fully present, fully aware. When we practice patience, we begin to see that pain is not something outside of us. It is a part of us, a signal, a messenger. And when we meet it with patience, we create a space for healing, for understanding, for growth. We stop running from the discomfort and instead we learn to walk with it, to breathe with it, to live with it. In this way we transform pain from a burden into a teacher, from an obstacle into a guide. The next time you feel the weight of pain heavy on your chest or mind or body, remember that patience is not about waiting for the pain to go away. It is about staying present with it, observing it, breathing with it, allowing it to be what it is, without adding layers of resistance or judgment. And in this space of patience, you will discover a quiet strength, a resilience that cannot be shaken, a power that comes not from escaping pain, but from meeting it with grace. Pain has a way of scattering our attention, pulling it in many directions, making it hard to think clearly, making it hard to feel present. Our minds get caught in loops of what if and why me. We imagine the worst. We replay past hurts. We project future fears. But there is a way to regain control over this scattered mind, a way to bring your attention back to this moment where your true strength lies, and that way is to develop focused attention. In the Shaolin teachings we learn that the mind is like a monkey, always jumping from branch to branch, never still, always searching for the next thing to grasp. But when we train the mind to focus, when we teach it to return to one point of attention, we begin to find peace, we begin to find clarity, we begin to find the space within ourselves where strength and calmness reside. When you feel overwhelmed by pain or discomfort, pause for a moment. Bring your attention to your breath, not as an idea but as a physical sensation. Feel the air moving through your nostrils. Feel your belly rise and fall. Feel the expansion and contraction. As you focus on this simple rhythm, you will notice how the mind resists, how it tries to wander back to the pain, back to the fear, back to the past or the future, but each time it does gently and firmly bring it back to the breath, back to the body, back to this moment. With practice, this becomes easier, not because the pain disappears, but because your mind learns to stay with what is real, with what is here now. Focused attention does not mean ignoring the pain or pretending it is not there. It means choosing where to place your awareness. It means recognizing that while you cannot always control the sensations of pain, you can control how you relate to them. In the temple, we practice standing meditation for long periods of time, standing still like a tree, while focusing the mind on one point. This point might be the breath, or a spot on the wall, or the sensations in the body. At first, the mind rebels, it complains, it resists, but with practice it begins to settle, it begins to quiet, it begins to find stillness within, movement, and this is where true power is found, when you can remain focused amidst discomfort, when you can choose where to place your attention. You are no longer a victim of the pain, you are its observer, you are its master. Imagine holding a candle in a dark room. If your attention wavers, the flame flickers and the darkness returns, but if you keep your attention steady, the flame remains strong, clear, unwavering. This is the power of focused attention. It lights the way through the darkness of pain. It shows you that even in the midst of suffering, there is a place within you that is calm, that is clear, that is unshaken. To develop this skill, begin with small steps. Set aside a few minutes each day to focus your attention on one thing: your breath, a movement, a sound. Whenever your mind wanders, gently guide it back. Do not judge yourself for losing focus. Do not become frustrated or impatient. This is part of the training. This is how the mind learns over time. You will find that your ability to focus extends beyond meditation into every aspect of your life. You will find that you can remain calm in challenging situations, that you can stay present with your emotions, that you can respond rather than react. This is the training of the Shaolin mind, not just for moments of quiet, but for the storms of daily life. When you develop focused attention, you create a space between yourself and the pain. A space where you can choose how to respond, where you can observe rather than be overwhelmed, where you can find your center amidst the chaos. This space is not something outside of you. It is within you, always waiting to be discovered, waiting to be claimed, and in this space lies your true power. So the next time you feel pain pulling your mind in many directions, remember this practice. Pause, take a breath, bring your attention to one point, return to the body, to the breath, to the present moment. Each time you do, you strengthen your ability to focus. Each time you do, you reclaim your power to choose your response. And over time, this practice will not only help you navigate pain, but also help you live with greater clarity, greater calmness, greater strength. Holding on is something we all do. We hold on to expectations, to pain, to beliefs that no longer serve us. We cling to them thinking that if we let go, we will lose something important. But the truth is, holding on often keeps us stuck, keeps us trapped, keeps us in pain. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about releasing what no longer serves us. It is about making space for something new, for something better, for something that aligns with who we are today. When we experience pain, our natural tendency is to hold on to it. We replay the story over and over in our minds. We attach our identity to it. We let it define us. But the longer we hold on, the more it hardens within us, the more it takes root and becomes part of our being. Letting go is about loosening this grip, about recognizing that we are not the pain, we are not the story, we are not the emotion, we are the awareness behind it. In the Shaolin tradition, we learn that letting go is an essential practice. It is not just about physical release, but about mental and emotional freedom. When we train, we learn to let go of tension in the body, to let go of thoughts that distract us, to let go of emotions that cloud our judgment. We learn that letting go is not a one-time decision. It is a moment-to-moment practice, a constant returning to the present, a constant invitation to release and relax. Imagine standing by a river, holding a heavy stone. Your arms are tired, your body aches. The longer you hold the stone, the more painful it becomes. But if you let it go, if you drop it into the river, the weight disappears. Your hands are free, your body can move again. This is what letting go feels like. It is a release, a relief, a lightness that fills you when you decide to stop carrying what no longer serves you.